Hello and welcome to this episode of Overcoming Overwhelm, a nervous system approach to wellness, success, and health. I'm one of your hosts, Mia Saenz, and I'm so excited that you're here. I love to produce these shows. I've produced over 30 myself and probably 27 for clients. So a little bit about me. You've heard about us before, obviously, and many of you have taken our classes and love our stuff. I am primarily consider myself a love alchemist. I teach love, whether it's self-love. I've come to realize that love is very interesting because if we keep putting labels like self-love, unconditional love, where does love go? Love is just love. So we're going to explore that in other shows, maybe not so much today, but what I want to share with you is everything is self-love. Everything is love, period. So the work that you're doing here with the nervous system is all about loving yourself. So I look at the growth and the expansion of self-love as the fullness and wholeness into love. So self-love has many, many tools. The destination or the occurring within yourself is actually self-love. As we go through, whether it's the academy work, which is the higher levels of self-love, because it's working with the emotions directly. It's working with the systems of, well, the nervous system primarily. It's teaching you to be a listener to yourself, your body awareness. There's so much that self-love is. It's everything, literally. And so we are not at the end, middle, or beginning of our journey. Most of us have started it, and we will always be on a journey. That's just the way it is. That's the beauty of life, is that we get to keep expounding on life and growing. So the fastest way we have discovered that you get into your body, your space through trauma, through all of this, is literally not just adding in the love, but being aware of its emotions, right? The emotions are what controls us. So how are you feeling from your early childhood trauma? Does it get in your way at work? Does it still come up in conversations where you ruminate? Do you get triggered? All of these are spaces to learn how to love yourself deeper, how to move through things so that, believe it or not, so that it doesn't affect you, so that you can keep moving on. There are so many people that I hear and watch and shift and change from the life of inconsistency to from the life of chronic illness, some kind of a deterrence, whether that's ADHD, whether that's depression. All of that can be up leveled, not the causes, not the depression and that stuff, but you can up level yourself out of it. Guess what? I did with this work. I used to be on medication years ago for a long time. I got off. Psychiatrists, the whole world out there that I play in, psychology as well, cannot believe that I did it this way. But they understand that when we work through these, because I'm an earlier person working through all this stuff, I've been doing the self-love and the integration work for, gosh, since I was 24. Should I date myself here? I'm thinking that somewhere around 36 years, 37 years, something like that. And the thing about this is that's so beautiful is um, we keep seeking more within ourselves because life becomes beautiful. Can you say to yourself, without the stress and the panic, can you say, I love myself? And really mean it. Not just the communication of society nowadays, where there's a lot of people who are going through the shifting of themselves. Can you mean it? Do you mean it? Do you want a better life? You might not know how to get there, but do you want that? All of these are what we teach and move people through the Greatest You Academy, through the self-love work. That's who I am. And so whether you have an old story, I love stories because what I love to do and to teach is to break the energy of the story. You have a story that's been ruminating around with you and that you keep telling others and sharing, and it holds you down. What if you could break that energy and move through to another side? Move through to the place that it no longer lights you up. You still don't get a hit off of it. Guess what, guys? We get an emotional hit off of all of our stories until we don't. And it doesn't mean that they're good hits because we don't understand ourselves until we understand ourselves. We don't understand that trauma produces drama, which leads a life of chaos. And in that chaos, we're spinning and turning. What if you didn't have that chaos? What if you were able to ask yourself, how do I feel? Do I like this? And remove it from your body and be aware that it's what you're doing. What if you got 100 stories cleared out of your body simply by understanding how your trauma works with you? How to get through it, how to calm the nervous system, how can it support you through all the modalities that we teach moving forward? I know from my own experience and the experience of clients is that when they're in the deepest stress, what do? We reach for something, right? Just like when you're stressed out and you haven't worked through your emotional eating, you might grab a cookie or a piece of a candy bar to make you feel good. What if you already had in play within your own system because you've been practicing being guided through with guides, not just me, but like through the whole academy? I'm just going to share this as my segment to share with you about the work that we do. So, what if you were able to guide yourself instead of wanting something that was detrimental, because that's what we're used to? We're used to having an emotional hit. When we don't have that, we're like, "Oh, I'm bored. I don't know what to do. This feels so weird." So then we teach people how to move through those spaces, those uncomfortable spaces until they're comfortable. What if you didn't need those hits anymore? What if you could identify them and stop yourself? What if you could live the greatest life that you've ever wanted to live? Because I'm going to stop right there and say, I believe this with my whole heart. This has been my life's journey to teach love. And my life's journey as a coach for the last 16 years to love people through into wellness, through and into wellness. It's so valuable to understand that we can have these changes. At one point in my life, I never knew that there was a way out. There is. There's a way out. It's becoming more mainstream all the time, which is a very beautiful thing. So, what if you could break that energy of your story, like I was talking about? A lot of the work we do too in the academy is also on the inner child, parts work. All of these support us in understanding who we are and our emotions so that we can dissolve the painful ones. The stories are still there. You might get a slight tear once in a while, depending on how open you get with somebody in sharing, if you begin to be a teacher or something yourself or a coach, supporting others. But what if you could get through your stories so that they don't trigger you? So that you actually can live the life that you want. In 2008, doctors called me into their office in July and said, Mia, you have less than 2 years to live. Because of literally, because of my CPTSD, my early child complex PTSD, which is for child abuse, severe child abuse, or war victims. What if that could all change? I had no clue that there was an opportunity until I decided I had had enough. Why do we wait until we've had enough? Why do we wait? There is a way through. So your story can have that energy removed. We don't want to create a false story like to replace it. That's not what we do here. We take the energy and diffuse it out. So it's just a story. I believe that your story matters. I believe that you matter. I believe within you there are hundreds of stories. If you've ever had any interest in writing or creating or expanding, I sincerely am sharing that it's time to step up to take care of yourself. I'm also a micro book publisher. I have a micro book publishing company. We have an editor, we have artists, we have everything that people need to get the books published and out. That's also available. You just have to ask. What if you could change your life to how you wanted it, to only what you dreamed of in your most happiest spaces? Because remember, when you're in your low vibrational space, you can't dream big. You definitely can't dream big because we have a weight sitting on top of us. We have a weight weighing us down. You can move through all of those and become light and airy to whatever depth or degree that's natural for you in your natural state of being, not in your sorrow, not in your story, your trauma story, not in your history that you haven't let go. There's a lot of spaces that we work with people on the mother wound and the father wound to watch people grow through that encounter of their whole traumified that's a new word, traumified, in their whole life, to be able to move through it and out of it. We have one person in the academy. We have a couple of them working on several working on the mother wounds, but we have one that just declared recently. Now, she was a child of Munchausen, meaning her mother tried to kill her many times. And she just declared in our last academy call that she has now come to the point, and I've been working with her on this because that's my specialty, love. Lori's specialty is another form of trauma and the freedom from emotional eating, although we both support each other in our work together. She said, I love my mom. She's Australian. I love my mom. She could never say that before. She could never say she loved her. Her story was, she tried to kill me over and over again. So what I want to share here is this beautiful woman who her story was she had this severe childhood trauma and a life of sickness, chronic illness, literally sickness and operations. She is now coming through that, out of the pain, through the nervous system work, into her own empowered abilities. I can also state that I had major surgery in August of this year, August 16th. They told me I would be in bed for 3 months due to my situation, my condition, recovering. I am at week 4 today, interviewing this with you. I have been up since week 2, doing work, working with clients, teaching in the classroom. We can move through our timeline fast and heal. That's my specialty, healing. It's a beautiful gift. What I want to share about that as well is it's not just my gift, but the people that I teach, guess what happens? They find their freedom. They find their joy. They find their life. So I mentioned the surgery simply so that I could tell you and share. The night I came home, well, I had to stay overnight, and it must have been a big surgery because they never let you stay overnight. Everything is now an outpatient process. So I stayed overnight and I went home the next day. We had a hotel that we had for healing only. It was supposed to be a month long. I had a nurse there 24 hours for the first week, and then the hours went down. But guess what happened? The first night I was home, I was struggling with severe pain. I was on meds for the pain. It still came through. Guess what? What did I do? I did my nervous system work. I did the tools that we teach in the academy that are They're everybody's tools, but we share them with the world. Specific ones that work for me, that work for others specifically. The pain went away. My nurse said, wow, look at you. You're settling down into your body. I was also blessed to know that I wanted a healer who was also a nurse to create a sacred space that she honors so well with the people that she works with. And we're going to have her on in another topic at one point in a conversation because it's been a miraculous healing. I left after 13 days that hotel. We packed up, and the reason we had the hotel, many people were recovering there. I was told from this type of surgery. I live on a little island and I could not risk the ferry and how I would feel and all of that. But guess what? Guess what? 13 days later, I'm out of there. And my mobility is amazing. I started teaching that following week. So, or that week. Isn't just 2 days later. Isn't that amazing? Literally amazing. And I'll share with you, it was a mastectomy. So when you hear those words, you understand that that's a big deal. I've also been able to handle my emotions around. It's an amputation, guys. I've been able to heal my emotions around that. Another beautiful thing. Why? Because I've been doing the work for so long. I love myself dearly. And it has been, I have to tell you, honestly, from my heart of hearts, and I'm going to get a little emotional because it's been a beautiful trip, the most beautiful experience I think I've ever had. And who would say, wow, a surgery and recovery and prepping for it is the most beautiful experience? You know why it was? Because where it took me spiritually, where it took me into my own life, where it took me afterwards. I had been working before, which I teach people, go 2.5 years in the future, and we're going to work in how to heal yourself as your future self then. It's got to work, guys, because it did with me, and it has with others that I teach. Everything about your nervous system, about self-love, about your health is valuable, about your story, about you. So I want you to understand how much you are important, not just to us, well, to yourself, but also to us. We care. We absolutely love and care for the people that we serve. Lori's a Harvard graduate attorney. She still does a little work on the side because she loves it, but she loves this more. I have had 18 companies in my life. Well, this is my 18th. I've had 17 companies before this. This is my favorite. I've never owned a company this long. I usually would sell them off. I am a business strategist too. I have my hands in many pots because for me, that's a beautiful life. So what I'd like to leave you with is, what do you want in your life? What do you want to create? Who do you want to be? What do you want to express? How long do you want to live? How healthy do you want to be? How happy do you want to be? How connected to your sisters, your brothers do you want to be? What kind of love do you want flowing through your life? These are questions to think about. These are very important. I'm just looking over my notes just to make sure that I presented everything that I wanted to say. And really, basically, that's it. You've had all these experiences with teachers talking about self-love in the nervous system work. Of course, they go together. The depth of love for healing is who we are. We weren't taught it, we reparent ourselves. So if you guys have any questions, want to hop in the academy, either on the freedom from emotional eating, and I'm just throwing this in at the end here because this one is one of the last or the last show to be aired. And so whether you want it for freedom from emotional eating or the Greatest You Academy, which is a mastery of you, which is all of the high levels that takes you into self-devotion of self-love, that allows you to heal quickly, fast, move through your life, your chronic illness, Give it no, and I'm not saying give it no heed as in don't pay attention to it, but what if you could change chronically being ill to not? Have you tried? And if you have, you need to talk to me. Seriously. Even if you've ever thought about changing your life on self-love in any form, in any way, or the food system with Lori, we have calendar links that are coming out in the emails. Book a spot, talk to us. We are open for the Academy now, The Greatest You, for the Freedom from Emotional Eating. That'll be, I think, opening on the 30th of October. So enjoy your life. This is your life, guys. This is your experience. Your soul came here to grow, to experience things that it cannot experience without the body, without the human body. And a lot of that is connection and love. Even if you struggle with relationship love, this is a place to be. Get Ready for Divine Love Connection is our program actually in the Greatest You Academy. So not only do you get a 6-month, 12 modular program that supports tremendous growth and change, we also give you another 2 months in there to go through everything and anything that you want. And one of your choices, if you so to choose it for free, because you're already in the Academy, would be the Get Ready for a Divine Love Connection. And there's so much more. I mean, there's so much more. So thank you for joining us. This has been an amazing experience. I love to produce these shows, as I started out saying. I love to meet all the guests that I don't know. Oftentimes you'll see me bring in guests that you've seen a couple times. It's for you to get comfortable with people that we cherish. And with this group of phenomenal beings, these women, we're going to bring them back piece by piece, not everyone together, but bringing you new people throughout this coming year. We love overcoming overwhelm. I hope you have a beautiful day. And don't be shy. Reach out. Mia at miasaenz.com. You got this email. You've seen the pictures with Lori and I on it for ours, or you've seen that it's hosted by Lori Montry and Mia Saenz. So you have a view on how to spell our names. Mia at miasaenz.com, Lori at lorimontry.com. Have a beautiful day. Thank you for joining us so much. It literally has meant the world. We love this show. Can you imagine that I created this going into that kind of surgery? This is what life is about. This is what loving life is about. Thank you for sharing it with me. Bye.